Played across college. The NFL season kicks off in 5 days with the Cowboys. They haven't made any headlines. Heading to Philly to take on the Super Bowl champs. Dallas will, of course, be without Micah Parsons, traded to Green Bay Thursday. The four-time Pro Bowler agreeing to a 4-year, $188 million deal with the Pack. 120 of that is guaranteed. Dallas received defensive tackle Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks as well. Here's Parsons speaking last night after joining the Pack.
No, I didn't have any say. It was just, I would say I'm pretty lucky because I understand the rich history of the Packers and the fact that they had interest in me and understand that they had a pretty tough team already in the NFC, and I was pretty much geared up, ready to play them, looking for revenge. But now I'm on the other side of adding to this rich history and being able to play with these guys and suit up and, play. I'm very excited.
Before you left, did you talk to Jerry, Steven? Did they tell you that you were being traded, or was it all through David?
It was pretty much all through David. You know what I mean?
So Micah Parsons joining one of the best teams across the NFL in one of the best divisions. 3 of the 4 went to the playoffs last season in the NFC North. What's the rest of the league as Jeremy Fowler joins the program this morning? It's the gift that keeps giving for sports viewers. What is the rest of the league saying about this deal going down?
Gee, the reviews are mixed. Now, I will say people around the league are not as down on this trade for Dallas as a lot of the media is that said it was a disaster. They said, if you had to move on from him, getting 2 first-round picks and a good defensive tackle on Kenny Clark is really not that bad. Not great. I talked to a few execs who said, hey, if you would have done it maybe in late March, early April before the draft, you could have got some better draft picks. Green Bay's going to be pretty good this year, so their first-round picks are probably going to be somewhere in the 20s in the first round. So the picks are not as good. The bigger criticism is that the fact they moved on from him at all. Like, you have a Hall of Fame player that you couldn't work it out with. But considering they had to trade him this late before week 1, they actually got a decent return.
Okay, 4 years of pro, 4 years of Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro, and he's going back to Dallas to hunt Dak Prescott week 4, Sunday Night Football. The script keeps giving to us. Who's paying attention to the deal, the extension that Micah Parsons signed, 4 years, $188 million? Because he is the tide that lifts all boats.
Gary, if you are Detroit's Aidan Hutchinson, Thursday was a pretty good day. You saw that deal come down the pipe. I mean, the pass rush money is crazy. It has more than doubled in the last 7 years. So that's good news for Hutchinson, who is going into his 4th year. The Lions have 2 years of contractual control on him, so they don't have to do anything right now, but they have started a dialogue about a potential extension. The little bit of a hiccup here is that leg injury he had last year. The Lions would like to see him get back on the field a little bit, see where he is. That's my sense. However, he's looked so good in the preseason and in practices, they're not all that worried about it. They know he's elite. He showed that last year in the minimal amount of games that he's played. So I expect the Lions to try to lock him up here sooner than later.
Micah Parsons became the highest non-quarterback to ever get paid in the National Football League. Hold that title while you can, because Aidan Hutchinson is probably coming for it sooner rather than later. Jeremy back in a little bit on the program with week 1 injury.
Oh, Michael, it has been too long. We miss you. It is so good to see you, and I'm sorry to be speaking to you under these circumstances. Michael, we just heard what you said to Laura yesterday. There's no way this man is getting traded. And then this.
We sure did.
Michael, just let it all out. This is a safe place, safe space for you. Just vent.
Just vent, sweat, and do it all.
First of all, let me start with this, Sam. That whole accident happening thing, I'm sitting here in the pain. And that thing has me laughing. It's just, all of the cuts in and out. You have a Steven, hey, doing. That's just great. That's great producing. And Molly, how are you guys? I want to understand this, though. What kind of friend is this? The only time he calls is when your heart gets sharp. And he said, hey, man, come on the show for a minute. Wait, what, guys? What does this mean? What do you mean? How much? What kind of friend do I call you? But I promise you guys, Jerry was hurt. All of this, I'm shocked, I'm surprised, because Jerry always says he has a great propensity for these kinds of things, and he can stare it right down the barrel. And obviously, there's no doubt, Jerry was hurt. I saw it when I watched the interview. I know him very well. And for I love him very much. I know what he wanted with Micah Parsons, and I know not having it with Micah Parsons is hurting him deeply. And I believe it's hurting Micah deeply. You know, it's certainly hurting us here deeply. I heard Dan say, no, Micah was happy to leave. No. That would not be true. The emotions got all crumbled up in this whole thing, and it became a place where he had to. He wasn't happy to leave. Micah was happy to receive the money he was getting where he was going, but if you give him that money, he'd rather stay here. That's the reality. So come on now, deal in my pain. Deal in my pain.
Hold on.
Deal in my pain.
But it's not there. And what I need you to explain, Michael Irvin, when you say Jerry is hurt, okay, in the end, why did he do this? You got 2 late first-round picks. You got a decent player in Kenny Clark, but not somebody that measures up to Micah Parsons. According to Michael Irvin, why did Jerry Jones do this?
Because the great businessman let his emotions get in the way. And it's the one thing that Jerry always talks to me about. He let the emotions get in this thing. But they did. And I'm telling you, because the great love he has for Mike, to pull away from him.
Stop it.
Hold on.
And he made a bad decision here. I don't care what anybody says. He made a bad decision here.
Michael, I hate all this brokenness you're talking about. Everybody's sad, but what made this so personal? Why did he let his feelings get the best of him? A man that you've just said is one of the best businessmen in sports history. Like, what was he so upset about? What's the thing?
Right, and that's just it. You know, from what I understand when I talk to him, Jerry says this thing that they had worked on time and time again. Like Michael came to him, they changed the number. Then went to Steven, they changed the number. But if you did all of those changes and the number was still below the 41, at least the 41 or 42, then where did you start with Micah? All of it. But the reality is you made a bad decision. Not just from the money perspective. I'm talking about continuity with what you're trying to get done offensively and defensively. Now, if you can ever stop the run, you were 29th last year, you haven't been able to stop the run. So you got a big engine on the offense. You're going to put up points. He's the greatest pass rusher, one of the greatest in the league. That's playing complementary football. And now you come in and tell me about stopping the run.
I don't want to. This is not a day I want to hear your football analysis. I'm getting personal here. I'm getting personal right now. Why, Michael Irvin? How come you couldn't stop Jerry from making this decision? You, Michael Irvin, you the playmaker. You've known this man for almost 40 years. He loves you like a son. How come you were not able to stop him from making this move and taking care of Micah Parsons? Dallas might be blaming you right now.
Well, you are pretty good at this, boy, but let me tell you something. Because don't think I haven't put that on my own. Man, was Jerry serious? Maybe I should have went and got that thing done for real. And I have thought about that. I absolutely have thought about that. And now I got to think deeply. I'm serious about what kind of friend are you to bring that back up again. Because I swear to you, this makes no rhyme and no reason. And Stephen, you're right, Steve. He was reaching out to me. He was crying out, and I missed it. And I should have jumped in the middle of it even deeper and better. And I'm hurt for it, and there's no doubt in my mind. So I don't care what anybody says.
So is that
all that Jerry's saying about we're better today? That's not true. That reminds me of the documentary where his dad said, "Make it look like you know what you're doing, even when it is not working." And that's what I came up with right there. That's not true.
Is that your way of confirming the obvious? That 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark in no way measures up to the loss of Micah Parsons, and the Dallas Cowboys will end up being worse? Is that you giving that confirmation over the national airwaves?
I'm telling you right now, that the Dallas Cowboys defense is not as good as it was, and it was always a having problem. Now listen to what they said yesterday. They talked about wanting to stop the run. They are absolutely right. They need to learn and need to figure out how to stop the run. But letting Micah Parsons go, Micah Parsons wasn't because that's not the reason. That's because some of the guys you drafted did not work. Micah Parsons was the best thing we had in the complement for the offense. If you got a high-power offense, you want somebody that can get to the quarterback. That's where they made a bad football decision. And don't try to lie to me talking about we needed to stop this and we got a better player. We lost yesterday.
Michael, you're on the inside there, right? Obviously, you bleed blue. How deflated is the locker room? How deflated are these players? What is this going to do to the culture of this team right now heading into the season?
Yeah, this will be a difficult game for them to go into. Certainly the Philadelphia game right now with this situation. It really is. Because now you think about it, it's not just this. We're coming off Dak Prescott situation. We're coming off CeeDee Lamb situation. And then right in the preseason, here you did a Trayvon Diggs situation. I guarantee you the locker room is rattled right now, and it's definitely going to affect them next Thursday night. Now, how it affects them is up to them. Do they say, we're tired of this and show up and not play? Or do they say we're going to show everybody in play?
Michael Irvin.
But it's going to affect them.
Michael Irvin, before I let you go.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love you like a brother. You know that stuff, even though I got to bring this up about you. And by the way, I want you to get a haircut, but we'll talk about that another day. Here's what I will say. Change that damn hair. Get rid of it. Get rid of it, okay? Get rid of it, damn it. But let me say this to you. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on right now. I think Jerry Jones is fixated on the money he gave Dak Prescott. He went out and got George Pickens to pair him with CeeDee Lamb because of the money he gave CeeDee Lamb as well. And I think Jerry is hanging his hat on, let my quarterback go out there and prove me right. Because we're going to have a high-powered offense, and that's going to make us look good. I think Jerry is looking at Dak Prescott and saying, I'm riding with you because I tried to negotiate a contract with you before.
We all have that type of relationship though.
Oh, you okay? That's why. Hey, you okay? You good? Man, you know I'm good. Oh, you should have told me that. You should have said nah. Should have told me that. Cause now I gotta get you. Ocho, the trade heard around the world last night. The Dallas Cowboys did the unthinkable, trading the 4-time Pro Bowler, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time first-team All-Pro, Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. The Packers handed Micah Parsons the largest contract for a non-quarterback in NFL history. He got 4 years, $188 million, $120 fully guaranteed at signing.
Yeah.
And $136 total guaranteed, $188 million total. Ocho.
Yeah.
What the Cowboys thinking of?
Hold on. Take your time.
You want me to start it off?
Hey, well, I can start it off because listen, you will probably get a little bit more in depth than I will, but I would just chat. Y'all stay with me real quick. This is all ego. This is all ego and pride on Jerry's hands. When he did the deal and he got in front of the camera, he did something, as always, that he shouldn't have done. One of the first things he said is this was a good trade, and 2, we need to be able to stop the run. Now, you're bringing in Kenny Clark, and once again, you put the pressure on Kenny Clark and your defense and the coaching staff to be able to stop the run. Because who you play week 1, huh? Who they playing?
We go to Philly.
They going to Philly. And what does Philly do extremely well outside of throwing the ball?
Run the football.
Now you done put your team in a blender doing the same thing you always doing, is doing all that talking before it's even time to play, and you ain't been in Nan meeting room, you ain't been on Nan field. Oh, letting one of the greatest young superstars of all time go, and you feel your team has gotten better.
Yeah,
how does that make
that's cliche talk, Ocho? Oh, we got better. Really? So if you felt that way, why were you trying to sign him? If you thought you could get better by trading Micah Parsons Why did you even offer him $200 million? Now, all this time, the last four years they were getting run on, I never heard Jerry say a word about running on. Now, I don't know about y'all, but the thing is, you want guys to go hunt the quarterback because the Kansas City Chiefs stopped the run. What did the